if you've got confidence in the level of performance that you're going to achieve, then you can plan for that, you can build your business around it, and you can have a consistent platform from which to improve. Hi, and welcome to Helping You Perform. I'm your host, Paul Teasdale. Over a career working with high-performing teams from across the globe, including 7 years working with Formula One team McLaren, I've learned a lot about what it takes to drive results. In this weekly podcast series, I'm going to be bringing you tips, tricks, and insights from the world of Formula One that you can apply to your organisation for your high performance. Enjoy. Hi everybody, and welcome to another episode of Helping You Perform, where I bring my tips, tricks, insights and stories from the world of F1 and other high performing teams and help you apply them to yourself so that you can accelerate your own performance. I hope you enjoyed last week's episode 43, where I talk about opposites attract and how you can identify in your business or as an individual someone who may be a bit of a polar opposite to you that you can bounce ideas off and get something together that is greater than the sum of your parts. And if you saw any of the posts that I put around there, I referenced some lyrics from Paula Abdul's classic Opposites Attract. It actually got me kicked off on a whole new series of posts around insights that you can take from pop lyrics. So if you haven't checked that out, have a look at my LinkedIn account or Instagram posts, and you can see some of the insights that I've taken from some of the songs that I've heard over the years, particularly from the sort of 80s and 90s. And it just goes to show that you can take inspiration and insight from anywhere. So I wanted to continue on with this view of my stories from the world of F1, what I see in that world, what I've seen from working in that world, and how that can be applied to you for your own performance. And one of the things I noticed this week was McLaren have actually posted out something that is really, really critical. It was one thing just celebrating something around the pit stop, but it really brought home a point for me that is absolutely vital for anybody in business. Whether you're working on your own, you're in an organization, got your own little team going on, you're building a scale up or a startup, and that is consistency. Consistency is the thing that will keep you going and keep you on track to where you want to be. The reason this came up this week is that I did an earlier episode in the series here about the world record performance where McLaren got a pit stop in 1.80 seconds, world record, and that was this season. But what was also evident this season is that out of the top 10 fastest pit stops of the whole season, McLaren had 6 of those. Now, when you put into context that they are one of a number of teams, the fact that they have got consistently high performance is as important, if not more important, than achieving that peak performance. Because peak performance is great, but it's unpredictable. You might get really good performance on one day. But when you've got consistent performance, you know what you're doing. You can plan around it. You can understand what's happening. So when it comes to that pit stop, if McLaren know that their pit stops are going to last between 1.80 and 2.1 seconds, that gives them a huge advantage over their opposition, even the ones who might even go a little bit faster, because they are consistently performing that way. And if you put this into context of a different environment, so I've done a lot of work in manufacturing, for instance, and if you're working in a manufacturing environment, and one day you have an efficiency of 40%, and the next day you have efficiency of 75%, that's a lot different to if you have a consistent performance and efficiency of, say, 55%. Even if that is not near or close to that peak that you can get, a consistent performance allows you to manage out the noise in a business, and it also gives you a consistent platform from which to improve. And this is where standards are so important. There's another episode I did early on about standardization being the springboard for improvement. So consistency is king. If you can perform at a consistent level, then you know where you are and you know where you can get to because you've got a platform from which to improve. So it's a very simple lesson this week. It's about what are you doing in your business to make sure you've got consistent performance, even over peak performance, because that will allow the noise in your business to be quietened down, people to have confidence in the decisions that are being made. It can actually lead to a lot of savings, like real life resource savings, money, time, effort, because you're not having to make different decisions. You're not having to build additional stock or buffer into your environment because you don't know whether you're going to achieve peak performance or low performance. If you've got confidence in the level of performance that you're going to achieve, then you can plan for that, you can build your business around it, and you can have a consistent platform from which to improve. So think about that for yourself this week. What are you doing to help achieve consistent performance in your business? Whether that's in your team, as an individual, if you're a solopreneur, you're out there by yourself, what are you doing to make sure that your performance, how you show up, is consistent? If you're in a team member, what are you doing to make sure that your team know what's going to happen when you come up to perform? They're not questioning whether or not this is going to be a good day or a bad day, or whether there's going to be huge, great performance. You can do an amazing job in that speech or presentation, or you might flop, because you're so inconsistent in what you're doing. If you're consistent, people have confidence. And if people have confidence, they can make better decisions. So that's my challenge for you this week. Have a think about consistency in your line of work. What can you do to make your performance as consistent as McLaren's pit stop performance this season? As always, if you want to talk to me about any of this, I'd love to hear your thoughts about how you're applying it for yourself, what you're doing, what your challenges are. Reach out to me via www.paulteasdale.co.uk and set up that free 30-minute call. I'd love to chat to you, love to reach out and connect, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Helping You Perform podcast. If you found value in this episode, please take a moment to like, share, or review the podcast. You can reach out to me at any time, either through LinkedIn or through my website at www.paulteasdale.co.uk. I look forward to speaking to you in the next episode.